This video provides an accessible version of the article Beyond Tokenism from the first issue of Research to Practice in Self-Determination. The purpose of the first issue of Research to Practice in Self-Determination is to show how important self-advocacy is to developing the self-determination of people with disabilities. Self-advocacy skills help people express their likes and dislikes and keep someone else from making decisions about and for them. Strong self-advocates cause things to happen that make their lives better. In this video, Bill Krebs summarizes the key points of the article he wrote.
Hi, my name is Bill Krebs. I am a self-advocate. Today we were going to talk about Beyond Tokenism. Beyond Tokenism started as a project with the Developmental Disability Council. It was called Board Inclusion. As we surveyed people with intellectual disabilities, we didn't know what the word inclusion meant. So we renamed it Board Tokenism. So we were going to teach people with intellectual disabilities, professional, even parents, is what is it that people need to perform on a board. As you see on a chart, this is a football field. We thought the best thing was people know it was on the same playing field. We started with ladders, and how many times were people with disabilities were afraid to walk ladders. They told us to reach to the top to walk a ladder. There were steps. For the person with a disability, I was afraid to walk a ladder because once I made it to the top, there was nowhere else to go. So we decided, let's make a football field. So we made a football field that everybody was on the same playing field. As you see on the chart, number one said, you kick the ball. They started at the 10-yard line. They were included. Then they were invited to a meeting because we need that invited to be a part of a board first. From there, we get to the meetings. It was hard for people that didn't have transportation to get to these meetings, so we had to get them to get to the meetings. Then we got to the meetings. Guess what? We feel like we were a token. We always sit back. We always relax. We weren't in front of the table helping other people. As you see in the next part of the thing was we needed a mentor. A mentor could be somebody like a family member. It could be another board member. It can even be a self-advocate to help you perform better on the board. Once you get some things done, you start participating because you understand what's going on. The next thing you know, you're accepting. Oh, there he goes. There goes Bill. Run, Bill, run. He's running. And next thing you know is we're being listened to. Then we respect it. It comes out of our mouths. Then we're contributing different things and ideals that were accepted. Then we're influencing decisions. Because how many times have people with disabilities were on boards or family members or professional people and they feel like they're not important, but you are important. That's why we're here. Then guess what? Then afterwards you impact, touchdown, you score. Now you're a team player. But then we had a hard problem with the next thing. We had offense and defense. The offense wants you to go and score. They're the people on the board. They accept people with disabilities, parents that have kids with disabilities, even the professional people that really accept you. Then you have the defense. They're the older people who've been on the board so long, they're like dinosaurs. They're big and scary, but they have small brains. But we had to break through their barriers too. But we respect them because they invited us to this board. First thing is the offense, like I told you earlier, was go and get it, was having a mentor. How many times do we need a mentor? People with disabilities don't understand. But even the professional people don't understand. Even parents that hang on the boards don't understand. The next thing was transportation to get you to the meeting. So many people live in rural areas don't get a chance to come to boards because they live in rural areas. But we have to break them barriers down too. Then there's large print. Because so many times did we get this thing and we couldn't understand it. We needed accessible formats like that. Then the last thing is simple language. Simple language helps anybody. People with disabilities, parents that don't even the professional, would you believe that, doesn't even understand what they wrote, but it's got to be simple language. But then you have the defense, like I told you earlier. They hold you back. They always use these fancy words that we don't understand. They use jargon that people don't understand, Then they put down each other. It shouldn't be that way on boards. Then the next thing is no transportation. As you can see, they both need it. But the higher idea of this thing, as you see on my last PowerPoint, is to help self-advocates. The 10 things to help self-advocates, to be a board orientation. How many times did you come to a board and nobody ever gave you material to be effective board members? There should be an orientation to help family members, people with disabilities, even the new professional who comes aboard. Then there's make sure the material is in advance. How many times did you get to a meeting, just get the material there, and you're supposed to gobble all up and understand what's going on, but you should have it. Where we live, you must have the thing on 2 weeks in advance. If you don't get the thing in 2 weeks in advance, we don't talk about it, we don't discuss about it. We go on to the next thing. Then it should be in big prints. It should be in Braille for accessible people who are visual impairness and blind. It should be on oral tapes so we can go over the minute before the last meeting so people can understand things. Then there should be transportation to get the person to the. Then there should be lodging if they need lodging. Expenses like food expenses, pay for their care attendants or whatever they need. Then the next thing is a mentor. Like I told you, anybody could be a mentor. Just find somebody that you feel comfortable being around. They could be your mentor. Ask them. You have nothing to lose. Then to go over the agenda, like we said beforehand, make sure it's simple access, that you can understand things, that you can read things, Then there's, like I said, simple language. And then there's self-advocates. Always ask the self-advocates what their opinions are. Even ask the parents that sits there at that meeting, because they're part of maybe the self-advocate can help that parent who's sitting there, or the professional. Maybe all three of us can work together, because it's our world. Then there's board policies and then what their mission statement. We know in the local ARC where we live in Pennsylvania that the ARC's mission statement is that they got to have 3 or more self-advocates on a board, or they don't have a board. So that's their mission. It's on their mission statement. Then the last thing, their role and their job as a self-advocate or as a parent, as a provider. More people belong part of it as a committee. And I would like to thank the Development Council of Pennsylvania for having us do this initiative, Beyond Tokenism. Thank you very much.
Bill Krebs is a self-advocate from Philadelphia. He has spent the last 26 years fighting for the rights of people with intellectual disabilities. If you would like him to conduct a training on Beyond Tokenism with your organization, please contact him at mrtrouble64@yahoo.com.